Had a good weekend. NBA free agency is, yes, here we go. Top of the list. Waiting for the Kings to make some moves. How about Jason Tatum? Boy, what a mammoth deal he gets. The richest contract in the history of the NBA. 5 years, $314 million. Klay Thompson. Say goodbye to the Golden State Warriors as Klay is now heading to Dallas to play with Luka and Kyrie. All right, if you want to get on the program, if you want to call, you got the QR code over my shoulder. You also have the link right here. I would love to hear from you. Give me a call, and let's talk about what you think may transpire with the NBA free agency period now going on the end of day one into day two, if you're talking about when it started. So I know everyone wants the Kings to come out of the gate and make a move immediately, but it doesn't always work like that. There have been, in my opinion, some significant moves. And when you look at the Western Conference, I'm telling you right now, okay, what Oklahoma City has done, okay, what Oklahoma City has done is top shelf to me. They're the team right now to beat in the Western Conference. All right, when I look at what's going on with Oklahoma City and how good they were last year, and now they have 1 year of playoff experience under their belt, they're the real freaking deal. They have loaded up. They have a great general manager in Presti. They have a lot of flexibility with draft picks. And barring injury, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be really, really good for a long time. They're going to be good. They are going to be right up there with the very best in the NBA. I love their team. Getting Hartenstein from the Knicks is a big-time move. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see with injuries. You can't predict that. But if I'm looking at the West right now, I got to say Minnesota, better than Sacramento. Oklahoma City, better than Sacramento. Right? Anybody going to disagree with that? Denver's had a couple of changes, but as long as they got Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, better than Sacramento. All right? Dallas, better than Sacramento. No doubt about it. Not sold on the Clippers, not sold on the Lakers, although we still have, more time left here in free agency. Not sold on the Warriors. Pelicans are going to have a different look. I mean, getting Murray to run that backcourt, are you kidding me? Losing Valanciunas to me hurts. He goes to Washington, 3 years, $30 million. But New Orleans to me is still better. Don't know what's going to happen with Brandon Ingram. We'll talk about him in a moment. I haven't even talked about Phoenix because I don't know what the hell they're doing, right? Don't know about Memphis, although if they're healthy, they got a formidable team. Kings better make some moves here, all right? Better make some moves. While the Kings are playing the waiting game, I'm going to say this because you fans need to hear this, okay? You have no idea what's going on in Monty McNair's office. You have no idea. You don't know. And because we're talking on Monday, July 1st, and as of yet, the Kings haven't made any moves, you're assuming they're just waiting. They're not waiting. They're trying to make a move, okay, or moves. But it takes two teams to tango. So just because no news has come out of the Sacramento Kings front office doesn't mean they're not doing anything, all right? You can't make a deal if another team doesn't want to make a deal. You have a lot of other teams that are interested in the players that the Kings are interested in. So, just wait a little bit. Kings really can be a top 6 seed. Well, they can be, but in my opinion, not with the roster they currently have. They're going to have to get better. All right? They're going to have to be active here in the next couple of days, in my opinion, to be a top 6 team. I don't see how right now you can put them in a top 6. All right? It's the way we go. What do I think about Houston? I think Houston is a playoff team. That's what I think. That's what I think. You know? Grant, and we don't want to know. We want them to make an impact that can get this team better. That's it. I understand. You know what? I get you. I know you don't really care. You don't want to know. You just want an announcement that makes the team better. I get you. Trust me. I understand that. But again, let's just quickly, right now, with day one of free agency almost in the books, who are you better than in the West? Right? You're not better than Oklahoma City. You're not better than Minnesota. You're not better than Denver. You're not better than Dallas. That's 4 teams right there. I don't think you're better than New Orleans, but I want to see what their finished product is. That's 5 teams. Okay? And then you're fighting it out with the Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Warriors, the Rockets. And don't forget about the Grizzlies, as I said. All right? There we have it. I don't care about Bronny James. I don't want to talk about Bronny James. And no, I don't think he's going to get any minutes. He wouldn't even been drafted if it weren't for LeBron. So let's stop talking about Bronny James. All right. Grant, how do I feel about Lauri Markkanen if Keegan is included in the deal? I'll go pick him up at the airport. I'll fly to Sacramento. I'll be waiting for him in the vehicle of his choice, and I'll pick him up at the airport. If the Kings get Lauri Markkanen, you kidding me? I would take Lauri Markkanen over Brandon Ingram in a heartbeat. I love Lauri Markkanen. Absolutely. All right. Hey, Grant, first time in here. Can you tell me why so many Kings fans are against Brandon Ingram? I understand kind of the defense, but Ingram is an upgrade at the wing. Well, I'll give you my opinion, and I put this on social media. All right? You ready for this? Here are the games played for Brandon Ingram since he came into the league. Understand that 2 of these years were COVID related. Brandon Ingram came into the NBA in 2016. Played the most games of his career, 79. Then I'm going to read the numbers from subsequent years in order till last year. 59, 52, 62, 61, 55, 45, and this past season, 64. You understand there are 82 games in a season, right? That's why. Me, personally, I don't want Brandon Ingram. Not durable enough. You're going to pay that kind of money to have a guy play 60 games if you're lucky? No. I'm not doing that. Not doing that at all. I'm just not. Not going there. Thank you. He is always hurt. And I love Brandon Ingram's game when he's on the floor. Don't get me wrong. I love him. All right. Grant, what do you think the Giants should do with Evan Neal? Cut him? No, they're not going to cut him. But if he's starting at right tackle, you got some problems. All right. All right, let's get to Suns, Lakers, Clippers, Warriors are all going to be a disaster next season. How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't even know what the moves with free agency are yet. How can you say that? Can't make that comment on July 1st. Come on now. They are scared to make a trade. Really? Is this the same general manager that traded Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield for Domantas Sabonis? Does that sound like an organization that's scared to make a trade? Come on now. I mean, stop it with the nonsense, would you please? I mean, think before you write, would you? Come on now. Here we go again. Monty's sitting on his hands and running it back yet again. How do you know that? What makes you think that? Why don't you wait a minute? Okay? Why don't you wait a minute? Would trading Fox be an option this year, or are they still staying put with the core players? I think it's an option, not now, but I think it's an option when you get to the trade deadline if your team is in a similar position of last year, I do think it would be an option. I'm not predicting it, but yeah, I could see it being an option. But for you naysayers out there, and there are a lot of them, that think that Monty McNair is just waiting around, not doing anything. Come on now, would you please? Can we wait a few days? What do I think about OKC? I started off my show talking about OKC. They're the best team in the West. They've gotten better. They're going to get better. I told you this 1 year ago. I told you this last year at this time. Watch out for the Thunder. I told you they were going to be a perennial contender for many years to come. And here they are. They are really, really good. All right? Really good. Right now, Monty is with the stress level through the roof. Well, probably is. He also has a very restrictive owner who wants to know everything that's going on. And if there's a deal made, you got to talk to Vivek. And then he twiddles his thumbs before he gives you the blessing. And there's a lot of variables that go into this that you don't even know about. All right? Just the way it is. Everybody has a comment just like you. I love comments. That's why I do a show. I'm all for comments. I mean, that's why I'm on. I want comments. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I appreciate you taking the time to write me and call me and everything else. Grant, rumor is Jeremy Grant could land in LA if he doesn't go there. Do you think his versatility on defense could help the Kings? I love Jeremy Grant. Very good player. All right. Almost every team in the West is making moves and getting better. How patient should we be? Jacob, it's freaking July 1st at 5:05 or 5:10 in the afternoon. Freaking relax. Jesus. I mean, stop it already. Baki, save me, would you please? How are you, Baki?
How are you, Nate? Hi.
I'm good, buddy. What's going on?
Well, what's going on? Okay, we can only guess what will happen in the next few days or at least 1 month in total. We can say we can get this player, we can get another player, but in the end, it can happen something incredible. So, as you already said, we don't know anything. We don't know. So I'm gonna stick to another team. So because I wanna know uh, what's your thoughts about Fox uh, made a statement that if he's gonna see what will happen with the Kings. So okay, can we say how many games we have until All Star break? How many
Well, the
games?
schedule hasn't come out yet, but it's roughly 52 games.
Yeah, 52 games. Okay, I should say 50, but okay, 52. Never mind. So do you think after 50 games, how many wins you need so you can count for playoffs playing? I don't know. For if you go in the Fox head, what will you think about if you are maybe 50% of winning record? By
I don't think it's about necessarily the number of wins. I think it's where you are in the standings and the feel you have about the direction of the
yeah,
team. That's what
yeah,
I think.
yeah, me too. So let's suppose Kings are barely in the positive, so over the 50%. So what do you think Fox will be the next move? Uh, would
I
he
don't know.
would he
I'm not
would he
really
love
worried
the
about.
trade
Yeah,
or not?
it's a good question. If there's no reason for Fox to sign this summer, because if he makes first, second, or third All NBA team, which I think is unlikely, he's eligible for a supermax, which is a significant amount of money compared to what he could have gotten. So I'm okay with him waiting.
Yeah, me
The
too.
reality is, De'Aaron Fox thinks he's good enough to be on a championship caliber team.
Me too.
I don't, but I think he's good, and he will have options and he'll explore his options. So, I mean, I understand where he's coming from. I get it.
Yeah, because that situation can be very complicated because if
Yep.
he is not satisfied, he can easily go into the trade river. So
Yes.
he can left the Kings stuck in the mud. So what will happen next if
And
he
I know
made
he
a
wants to
trade?
play in Houston. I know he has a an affection from where he's from. His dream is to play for the Rockets. They're an up and coming team, and don't ever rule that out.
Well, good guess because they will probably catch the playoff last season, but their center was hurt. So it was really interesting last season because they started really hard.
Yep,
So so I will not count them out definitely.
I agree. I definitely agree. By the way, somebody said wouldn't mind getting Tyus Jones now that Davion is elsewhere. Tyus Jones to me is would be a tremendous, tremendous addition for the Kings, and I'll tell you why he would be
I mean,
tremendous. He has proven that he can start and run a team very well. And one of the big reasons why the Kings missed the playoffs last year is they didn't have anyone capable of running the team when De'Aaron was hurt. Davion was not that guy. Tyus Jones would be able to step in and run the team if De'Aaron goes down for any period of time. I would love Tyus Jones. I love that
yeah,
guy. I
I
think
will
he's
I, will- I would
tremendous.
love that. That will solve one problem. But what do you
Yep.
say about the second one? How about protecting the rim?
Yep.
How do you see that solution for the next season?
Well, that's why you have free agency, and we'll see who's out there. It's a very good question, and I don't have the answer for you right now.
Okay, we're gonna stick to it in the next few days.
Yep.
Did you
You've been
catch some
watching all the
remote?
game. You've been watching every game of Euro 2024.
Yeah, it was great. Really, it was great. I mean, I was definitely that Luka was cheering for Slovenia, and what
Uh-huh.
happened? They had a chance of the year, chance of the decade, because they left the player alone with the goalkeeper, and he missed the chance. That was unbelievable
That
to
is
see.
beyond heartbreaking at that juncture of the game to give up a goal like that. That is you're what 1 minute away from a victory. I mean, that's unbelievable to me.
Did you catch some Wimbledon today?
I didn't catch any Wimbledon. Real quickly on this because you know I'm not a soccer guy like you are. So here are my very novice takes on the teams that I've seen, and I'm aware that Belgium lost.
Ah,
I love watching Switzerland play. I love how they play. They are like a well-oiled machine, as is Spain. Spain to me is almost like a computer game where you already know the outcome before the game starts. Like they're never out of position. They are so well coached and everyone knows their role. Spain to me looks like wow, but Switzerland, I got to tell you, I am really impressed with Switzerland, and I
yeah,
don't
me
know,
too.
and I don't
Me too.
know anything about the sport.
Nah, you have the point. You got the knowledge of the sport, so you can see very quickly what is happening on the I should say on the floor on the court. But there is one more team that is really like a machine, and it's Austria. And if you have time, man, that Austria team tomorrow is
I
gonna be
haven't watched
rocking.
Austria. I haven't watched Austria play a lot. I'll tell you who I think the most overrated team left in the tournament is, and that's England. England should not be here. They've been so lucky.
This is
They've been. I
incredible,
mean, uh,
incredible.
yeah, they shouldn't. How they're still here is unbelievable to me.
And until yesterday, they were the favorites number one. I don't know today.
Yeah.
Maybe Spain take that first place from today. But man, tomorrow is the game of the week. Maybe
Who
the game
plays?
of the
Who plays?
tournament.
Who plays?
Because you have Austria, which is the same as Germany, like a host nation,
Uh huh.
playing another host nation because you have tens of millions Turks in Germany. So
Wow.
Turkey against Austria
Oh
playing in,
wow.
in Germany. This is crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy on the stadium.
Wow. All right. So forgive me. Are you saying Austria is like a host nation because they border Germany, or am I missing something here?
Definitely because of the border and
Okay.
also because of the great football and great players playing in Germany in
Okay.
clubs. So those people, I'm definitely sure they took all the tickets on time.
Okay. Well, it's again, I've been watching a week ago I told you I wouldn't watch a second of it. I'll tell you why I started watching, and don't laugh at me. okay? Because
No, I will
you're
not.
not an American, and so you may not understand what I'm about to say. It bothers me as an American at our disrespect and lack of patriotism that I see exhibited by some of our athletes towards our country as it pertains to the national anthem.
Yeah, I
When I
heard you saying that. I
when
heard
I
you.
watched the Stanley Cup Finals and I watched the fans in Edmonton with the national anthem and the patriotism compared to the fans in Florida, night and day. I love watching the teams come out of the locker room and then stand at attention with every member of the team singing the national anthem with great pride and everyone in the stands doing the same thing. You don't see that in America. And it's
Yeah.
disturbing to me because everyone talks about, gee, America is the greatest country in the world, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I don't really know if it is or it's not. I'm proud to be an American, but there are a lot of things that I am bothered by. And that probably is at the very top of my list is that, you want to talk about America being the greatest country in the world, and no disrespect to you because you're not an American, but I'm talking about the narrative. And then you can't even stand and respect the flag of your country, okay? And yet, every country in Europe that's participating in Euro 2024 stand at attention with great pride, with great patriotism. I saw it in Edmonton with the Oilers, and yet I don't see it here in America the way I want to see it, except for on a couple of select occasions like 9/11 in the NFL. Last year, they had games on September 11th, and you saw the patriotism for one day out of the year. But it bothers me. I got to tell you, and I don't mean to be political here, but that's one of the reasons why I started watching Euro 2024. Because when I first turned on my TV and was flipping around, the first thing I watched was the national anthems, and I'm like, man, this is freaking great. I love that. Meanwhile, we've got our soccer team over here in America, particularly the women's team of the past Olympiad, with Megan Rapinoe and her disgraceful, despicable, just disregard for the American flag and their nonsense. It turned me off so much, I didn't even watch the U.S. women's team play. It turned me off. I didn't want anything to do with them. I will never, ever root for anything that Megan Rapinoe was involved with and some of the other ladies on that team. It turned me off. I watched the pride and patriotism of the countries playing in this tournament, not only the players and the coaches, but the fans. And I'm like, man, I wish that was like it. I wish that was the way it was in America. I really do. So anyway, that's my rant for the day.
Yeah, great point about everything you said. I mean, you said don't laugh, nothing about love at all. So so great point. I mean, but you know, there is a, I mean, a lot of percent of American people that will cheer and sing a national anthem and be a patriot. So maybe it's about the national anthem during the national. I mean, during the national championships in NHL and NBA particularly. But you remember NFL? They are all singing it. They are all looking like great patriots. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not agree with you. I'm not disagree, but
Did you
maybe
say?
it's
Did you
maybe
say? Did you say NFL?
yeah. When
No,
when the when
no.
the when the Super Bowl is, I mean,
You know what? You have a
okay,
lot of
okay.
players
A lot of
you have a lot
people
of
are
players that you have a lot of players staring down at the ground. You have a lot of players that are doing their own thing. You have a lot of players that are chomping at the bit. And I get it's the Super Bowl, but no, I can't compare that at all to anything that I've seen so far in Euro
yeah, but
2024 or what I saw in Edmonton.
but I'm looking at the fans, Grant. I'm my attention is on the fans and how they are acting.
Yeah,
I mean,
fans, I would agree. Fans,
pla
I would agree with you. Well said.
player,
I agree
yeah,
with you.
players
Yeah,
with the wages, with the everything. I
yeah.
mean, they
Fans,
are,
I agree with you. I agree with you with the fans.
yeah, because I like to see fans singing the anthem, and that's I appreciate. I
All right,
mean,
we got a question for you. Someone's just curious, Baki, how is patriotism in your country of Serbia?
well, what to say? The patriotism is on a high level.
I
I
know.
mean, I mean,
I know it is.
it's
I
it's a
know.
it's a great book. I mean, we can talk in 2 days about it. So
I know the answer to that question because I'm so close with so
you're
many of
close with
your.
the players, with
Well,
your
there's some of
friends
my
are
best friends. There's
Serbians.
some of
Yeah,
my. Do you know that I have had hours and hours and hours and hours of conversations with Vladi Divac over a meal, over just hanging out, with him explaining to me everything about what it was like for his grandmother or grandfather
yeah,
who wasn't able to go across the border uh, because of what his life was like. Talked to me about the Civil War. He played in Sacramento when his country was being bombed. You know, I don't have to go into it for you, but the point is, I've learned a lot from talking with Vladi about your country. I do not have the knowledge that you have, obviously, but I have an understanding and I can appreciate how you and your fellow countrymen feel. And when I'm over there, I can feel it. It's an energy. So again, our audience doesn't know what you know, and to a degree, what I know, only because of my hour. And I mean this. I'm not exaggerating.
yeah.
Vladi
I
has
know.
taught Vladi has taught me a lot,
Yeah,
but he's educated me a lot on Yugoslavia, the Civil War, the everything that happened with Drazen Petrovic in Croatia and Tony Kukoc. We've talked about all of that. And it was fascinating to me to sit and listen to him tell me what it was like playing on the national team with his best friends, who then all of a sudden wouldn't even talk to him. Was like,
just because of the flag. Yeah,
he told me, he and Tony were great friends, and he'd go to Chicago and he'd ask Tony to go out to dinner, and Tony couldn't go to dinner with him when Tony was with the Bulls. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? I
yes, of
mean,
course. You have those ESPN documentaries, so you
yes,
you can you can catch even people who are not like you. I mean, you know a lot of things. I mean, you said you talked to Vladi. I mean, probably if you put it all together, you have maybe years of listening those people. I mean,
yeah,
Vladi, Peja, and other people from
yeah,
those part of the world.
yeah.
So yeah,
All right,
it's a long story. So
yeah. Well,
maybe
let me get
someone.
back to sport. Let me get back to sports for a minute.
Yeah,
As we sit here today, you were where you are. It's July 2nd in America. It's July 1st.
yeah.
Who's gonna win Euro 2024? Who's the team that's going to be left standing?
I'm very different from all the other people. I'm watching those games. Sometimes I'm looking it again and watching it again. I mean, it's very difficult to say. I mean, there
Well, you got
is
to pick
there
someone.
is
I'm
there
asking
is
you to pick a
definitely.
team.
You picked 3 or 4 teams. I would like Austria to win, but that was what
Well,
would I like.
I think
But
Spain's going to win.
but
After
Spain,
watching
yeah, Spain is
Spain, wow,
definitely have that courage and that psychological thing. That psychological thing is very important
yep.
because they know in every second they know what to do. So, but who knows? Who knows? You know how they say in Europe, the ball is rounded. So everything can happen.
Hockey, I love when you
Trust
call
me,
the show. Thank
trust
you
me.
very
I'm
much.
I'm I'm taking it a little bit off from the. You remember when you said those group competition that you liked?
Yep.
It's interesting, maybe more than this knockout phase. So now, when those group stage is over and when knockout system is, so we are getting close to the end. I'm easily switched to the Wimbledon, and I'm looking what happened there.
All right, who's going to win Wimbledon? Who do you like on the men's side? Who do you like?
Man, I'm confused like never before. Trust me,
I am too.
I really because a lot of withdraws. Even today even 3 4 players withdraw today, and I think it's gonna continue tomorrow and the day after.
Well,
So they are unprepared, definitely for this Wimbledon, like never before. So I don't know. Novak said his knee is great, in great condition. I don't know. Let's hope so it can bring great matches. And you know how it is. It's a grass. It's
Yeah.
very unpredictable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
A lot
Baki,
of yeah.
you're right. It is very unpredictable. You're 100% correct. Yep.
Nice to talk to you, Grant, as
Baki,
always.
you take care. You have a great day, okay?
You too, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Good stuff.
Bye.
Love talking to him. Really good insight. You know this about me. I love talking to people from different countries, and I love traveling to different countries and talking to the people that live in those countries. I've shared with you my experiences when I go to Thailand. And I travel to different parts of the world, like Thailand, and I ask myself, why can't our country be like that? I mean that in so many ways. And what is going on? And again, I don't want to be political here because I understand that we have a big election coming up. But again, not to be political, I don't really think it matters who's president of the United States. I just don't think it matters. And I think that all you have to do is look at the last 7 years. It doesn't matter. Okay. And forgive me if I'm turning you off by saying that, but I don't think it matters. But the divide in this country, and Kevin Euclid talked about this, that the biggest culprit of the downfall of our society is social media. Do you know that very few people in Thailand are on Twitter? Like when I ask people about Twitter or X, I haven't found one person that's on it. Their minds are not polluted by what they read on social media. Yeah, they're on TikTok. Yeah, they're on Instagram, but they're not on like Twitter or X now. And like it's fascinating to me that if you're in downtown Bangkok, I'm going to give you an example. I don't drink coffee, but let's say you're sitting outside at a Starbucks or a coffee shop or a restaurant, right? And let's say you have a backpack and you put the backpack on the table or on a chair on a busy sidewalk. You can actually go into the store, get your food, go to the bathroom, whatever, talk to a friend, and you come back and your backpack is right where you left it. There are thousands of motorbikes in Thailand. A lot of the people wear helmets, some don't. But when they park the motorbike, they put their helmet and put it right on their handlebar. Some of these helmets are beautiful. Some of them aren't. You don't ever have to worry about your helmet being stolen. Doesn't ever happen. There's no shoplifting. You can walk into a pharmacy or a convenience store or a 7-Eleven, and you can buy products that aren't all locked up, where you got to ring the damn button to have someone come in and unlock the damn case to give you your Advil or your toothpaste or your razors. Like, I can just go on and on and on. And so, like, when I turned on Euro 2024 for the first time, I had no interest in watching it all. And I can't even remember who was playing the first time I checked it out. And I'm looking at the national anthems and all of the fans and all the players. I'm like, I can get behind this. Now, I'm not watching it religiously, but I'm watching it enough where I know what's going on. And I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would, too. I'll be very honest with you. So, for what it's worth, all right? For what it's worth. Let me answer that for you, Grant. It's because we have a two-party system. Whatever. I'm not going to get into what our system is. It's been like it forever, but our country cannot be like that because the history of our country. Yeah, it can be. It can be, but it will take a dynamic leader to get us that way. Okay? A lot of countries have history, just so you know. Baki's country's got an incredible amount of history and war and savage war with unthinkable acts of cruelty and violence. So, when you want to talk about the history of America, there are a lot of countries that have a lot of history, good and bad. Okay? So you got to stop blaming history when you say our country cannot be like that because the history of our country. Wrong. Your country can be what you want it to be. Okay? There you have it. Baki says we are the oldest people in Europe. There's a lot of truth to that. That's very true, But again, I didn't want to get in on talk about politics, but what I wanted to talk about, I don't think patriotism is politics, but maybe it stems from a political viewpoint or what have you. I don't know. But what I am saying is it's different. What is the punishment for theft in Thailand? I don't know the answer to that question, but it very rarely happens. That's what I do know. It very rarely happens. And you know what else? Over when I'm in Thailand, they don't care whether you're black or white or Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish. They don't care. They don't judge. They just don't judge, right? Think about that for a minute. Jay, how are you, my friend? How you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing, Grant?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm in school right now, and sociology is probably one of my favorite classes.
Oh, wow.
That's not my major. It's just to hit my general requirements.
Uh-huh.
But I've talked about a lot of different stuff within my, classes. I've had higher, not the general education, but the classes that you take when you are closer to graduation. So upper division classes.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
you'll start off with like a general sociology, or communications and like philosophy classes. And then for your upper division, there'll be more writing intensive and more focused. So one of the actually more interesting ones that I've taken was HIV and AIDS in society. And it was targeted towards third world countries and the epidemic of AIDS in those countries. So that was actually really interesting while we were on that note, and how the difference of cultures and religions and the social structure in society, how it varies vastly throughout the world. I think like with Thailand, and this is a question, do you think that maybe there's less judgment, less stereotypes, less discrimination, I guess you could say, because maybe because of their population is mainly of the same descent and same culture? Like there's not
Could be.
very many white people, or there's not very many black. And obviously we don't need to get too political. It's just a quick question.
It could be. It could be. It's a very interesting question, but Thailand's economy is based on tourism.
That is very true.
So a lot of the people in Thailand, particularly in the big cities like Bangkok and Phuket and Chiang Mai, it's a very cosmopolitan area because you
And
have
Pattaya
people.
too. I heard
Yes,
Pattaya.
yes. You have so many tourists from all parts of the world. And so I don't know if the people in Thailand, it's called the land of smiles. People here are
Oh,
so
really?
nice.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
Thailand
That's
is called
actually
the land of
funny.
smiles. But
I'm doing oh, go ahead.
but what I'm saying is, because tourism is so important to the economy here, maybe the people of Thailand realize that in order for them to have a decent life, because many Thai people make money from the tourist, whether it's the entertainment industry, the hotel industry, whatever, the restaurant industry,
Food,
whatever, they have to be more accommodating that way and are self-conscious about it. But I haven't found that to be true when I visit over there. I just find that it's genuine. I don't know what the reason is for it, but that's not the only country in the world that I've been to where I felt that. There are other countries in the world that I travel to that I feel the same way. Fiji is the same way. The
Really,
people in
that's
Fiji are
interesting.
some of the warmest, kindest, most unbelievable people that you could ever be around. And there are many other countries. And so I'm not an expert on this, so I don't want to give the wrong answer.
Right.
But what you learn in class is one thing. What you learn by experiencing it
Hmm.
firsthand is another. And I'm fascinated when I go to foreign countries and talk with the locals.
Hmm.
I love that. And you learn a lot. And you also learn from their perspective what's really important and what's not important. And I wouldn't say it shapes who I am, but it adds to my perspective on things greatly. Like I have a different perspective
Yeah.
because I've been blessed to travel to a lot of third world nations. And what we complain about in America, right? The people in these third world countries, they raise their eyebrows internally and go, "What the hell's wrong with you?" You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, it's all perspective, I guess.
No, no, very fortunate to be in America 100%. And that experience you're talking about. See, I've never been out of the country, but I have been to Hawaii, and I love their culture too. They're very family
Yes,
oriented and very welcoming of tourists
yes,
and people.
yes. And
Very
I'll tell you
polite.
something else. I want to add one other thing. I feel safer in Thailand when I go over there than in any other part of America.
Really?
Okay. I don't worry about getting shot. I don't worry about being a casualty of mass murder. I might get run over by a tuk-tuk or a vehicle because they don't stop at
Light, right.
crosswalks the way they do in America. So I do, and again, my head's on a swivel when I'm walking because of the thousands of motorbikes and tuk-tuks and everything else. But I don't worry about getting robbed when I'm walking down the street, whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. I don't
Mhm.
look over my shoulder when I'm walking down the street at 2 in the morning when I'm over there. I don't worry about that. When I'm in New York now or
Oh,
downtown
yeah.
Sacramento, my head is everywhere. I'm looking
Oh, yeah.
everywhere because I am much more aware of my surroundings because of the state of our country when it comes to the crime in our cities. And again,
Mhm.
I'm not saying Thailand's perfect, all right? They have problems too, but that's not one of them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, yeah, New York is like a I'm the same way. It's tough. Like
Yep.
when you even during the daytime, I'm still on this like, you got to
Yeah.
be aware of your surroundings, especially I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but violent crimes, men in general are more victims of actual violent crime than women are
Yep.
because a man has less mercy upon another man than they would a woman in a way. Like if that make do you understand
I,
like the
you know, I,
psychology?
I I'm not an expert on this, so I'll just listen to what you have to say, and then
I'm not
after
either,
you're
but
done
it's
with
just
that,
from
I want to ask you a question. But finish your thought because I want to ask you something.
well, okay. So I've heard that statistic from the FBI is that men are significantly more at risk to being a victim of a violent crime than women
Okay.
would be of, let's say, uh, grape or assault in that nature. It's actually more likely that a man
Okay.
would be, whether that's being jumped,
I
stabbed.
I don't know. All right. Let me ask you because I respect your basketball perspective in a way, and I want to switch back to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We could go on and
Yeah, we
on,
could,
man. I love it.
and,
Yeah,
let's talk about the stuff that's not important now, like the world of sports. Um, I am getting a lot of messages from Kings fans that almost sound like they're panicking because there's been no news. Sometimes deals take a few days to happen. Sometimes they never happen. But the notion that Monty McNair's not trying and not doing anything is crazy. Of course, he's trying to make the team better.
yeah, definitely. Well, I wouldn't worry. Devin Carter's going to bring us a championship, right? No, I'm just playing. But no, I totally get Kings fans and me too. It'd be sad. I told Rhino it'd be kind of sad, to run it back, but I neither hate it or love the decision that we're right now. It looks like we're playing the patient game and waiting for something right to happen. or the right move that makes sense. I know, the front office from a financial standpoint clearly made it a point to stay under that tax threshold. And I assume they would be willing to go over, being it's for the right fit,
I
right
don't think
piece.
so.
Really?
No.
I mean, that's a sad reality, and I'm not saying you're wrong.
Most teams are not willing to go over the tax threshold. Only a few. Most teams are
It
not.
is very expensive. No, it's very
Yeah,
expensive
and
because you're
the
talking like
Kings are
two
not one of those
dollars.
teams. The Kings
You're
are not
talking
going
two
over the
dollars on
tax
a dollar.
threshold. The Kings are not going to be a tax team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then they should probably. My strategy, if I were in front office, and everybody wants to be a general manager, but I think the most logical thing to do would be to sell some tickets from we're going to make a playoff perspective, hopefully, with this team, sign affordable mid-level exceptions for the next year or so. And when it comes down to the contract extension with De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray, looking at what we can get for that, hopefully we can take back less salary and become more rich in picks. That's going to be the key. And that's going to take about 10 years for us to probably really be a contender for a championship if
Yeah.
you want to stay out of the tax. You want to stock up on picks. That's the way you want to do it. You don't want to go out there looking for a big game hunting. Maybe one max player to sell those tickets, but you want to get rich with picks. And you want to take back less salary as
Yep.
well.
Well, the Kings did that with the trade they just made with Toronto.
Yep.
It gave them more flexibility. Hey, listen, always interesting having you on the program. I appreciate you taking the time to call.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's get to beautiful San Diego and Rich. Hey, Rich, how are you?
I'm good, Grant. You got me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. Hey, I just wanted to share with you the Bill Walton Memorial Ride I did just a couple of weekends ago.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I had mentioned to my wife, I said, there's got to be something going on out there for, Bill Walton fans and stuff in San Diego, and found out that they were doing a ride, and so I got on board with it, and
Great.
we had about 156 of us,
That's awesome.
all on bikes,
Awesome.
and we did a 17-mile ride. It started at the park, at Balboa
Yep.
Park, at
Yep.
the fountain, and there was a guy there that was like the MC, and when I showed up, I drove in from La Mesa. I rode in from La Mesa on my bike, and when I showed up, there was music. They were playing Grateful Dead music and blah blah blah, and anyway, it was so awesome. There was about 3 or 4 of us that actually got to share stories of interactions with Bill, and in fact,
Awesome.
yeah, it was great. And then we rode out to the YMCA where he swam, many laps to repair himself, and they got a statue out there for him. They did a group picture, and it was amazing. Yeah.
That's great. I love to hear that. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. So anyway, so I haven't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to share that with you. And
Where's your
I
next
really
trip? Where are you and your wife going to next?
Well, my wife's heading out to Spain.
Oh, you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
we're going to the fall
Yeah.
foliage.
Yeah. But anyway, so she's going up to Spain with my granddaughter, and I'm actually heading up to Bellingham, Washington next week to
Good.
do an MC at a concert up there.
Good for you. Well,
yeah.
Always good hearing from you, Rich. Thank you very much.
All right, Grant.
You take care.
Take care. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Here we go. But Grant, this is deja vu. Same conversation as last year. Yelling, be patient and nothing happens. Same thing this year. What if I'm right? Well, you may be right. You may be right. But do you realize it's July 1st? Like, are you aware of that? That free agency is not yet, 24 hours old? Seriously? Like, what if you're wrong? Can you just is it going to change your life if I tell you to put the brakes on for 48 or 72 hours? Like, is your life going to be altered? Like, is your life going to change because here we are at 5:50 on July 1st. And as of right now, the Kings haven't been active in free agency. Like, has your life been altered in any way? And will it be altered in any way if tomorrow morning you wake up and the Kings still haven't made a move? Or will your life change throughout the day tomorrow or on Wednesday? You know, I don't know if you're aware of this. Free agency just started. There are still a lot of good players that are going to be changing addresses. Can you freaking wait like 3 days? Is that asking too much? Like, is it going to change your life? Think about that for a minute. Come on now. Unbelievable. Really. Unbelievable. I don't get it. I really don't. Here's what I do get, though. For your plumbing needs and repairs, yeah, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you, and they're available around the clock 24/7. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. Again, that's sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Also brought to you in part by Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill in Rockland. Don't forget about their happy hour, Sips and Taste, 2 to 6 every day, their weekend brunch, prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. Bennett's West Side Grill is their newest of their 3 locations in Rockland. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com, make a reservation or more. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. Love having everyone on here. Good show today, you know? Good show today. All right, so I'm going to start a new segment, not today, but in the future, all right? And I got to come up with a name, but right now, what I'm thinking of doing, and I want your help here because I'm going to have a graphic made and everything. Rant for Grant? Question mark. So I'm going to come on every day, and we're going to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm going to ask for rant ideas. And I'm going to take the best rant or a rant that I want to go off on, and I'm just going to do it spontaneously like I do all my rants. So I need a name for that. It's got to be, can't be too wordy. Maybe call it Rant for Grant. What do you think? All right. What do you think? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start. I don't know when I'm going to start, but I'm going to start that. It's going to be a new feature. It may even be separate from this show. I may just come on every day at the same time. I don't know. 7 o'clock at night, 8. I don't know. Whatever time you think would be best. Actually, I'll make that. All right. So, yeah, I need a title. What do you think? Rant for Grant? Question mark. Think that's all right? Sorry, I have a little bit of a cough. I love to go on Zillow and pretend that I'm moving like I'm a free agent. That's beautiful. That's great. Where you want to move to? Excuse me. That's funny. Sorry. Wow. How about that? What do you do in your spare time? I go on Zillow and fantasize about moving somewhere else. Oh my gosh. Grant's quick rant. I like that. Grant's quick rant. What do you think about that? Or how about rant at Grant? I like that too. You know, rant at Grant and Grant's quick rant. Pretty good stuff, you know. Rent Grant for a rant. Well, you're not renting me, all right? How about one rant from Grant? Yeah, but it's a little bit too wordy. I need something that I can make a graphic, you know? Grant's quick rant, pretty good. And rant at Grant. What do you think? Rant at Grant, Grant's quick rant. A couple good ideas there, you know? A couple of good ideas there. All right, so I want you all to calm down a little bit. All right, it's July 1st. Now, listen, if I come on Friday, right? If I come on Friday and the Kings still have not made any moves, then you can get impatient. You can criticize. You can do all that. All right. But wait a little bit, okay? Just wait a little bit. All right. How about rant at Grant? I like that too. I like that too. I like that too. Good stuff. I don't know about Grant's rants. One rant from Grant. There you have it. Your granted rant. Love it. You know? Love it. Good stuff. Appreciate each and every one of you. We'll take some more messages. I want to tell you about this beautiful residential community in Calusa, Sunrise Landing. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check everything out. And they have beautiful models, 6 in all to choose from. No Mellorews, no homeowners. It's right next to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Great access to Highway 20, Highway 45, and I-5. Again, it's Sunrise Landing in Calusa from Blazona Development. Just go to CalusaSunrise.com. That's CalusaSunrise.com. And you can check out everything at Sunrise Landing. Good show today. Love it. I can't believe how quick an hour goes by. I always say, I wish an hour used to go by this fast when I was in school. Love it. You know? Chris says, I grew up on your announcing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How old are you now? That would make me feel pretty old. Dave says, Bennett's is good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. All right. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back on at 5 o'clock. Rhino's got his show at 2 o'clock. And then Rhino is going to join me at 8 o'clock. So we got a triple header tomorrow. 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. All right. Grant, I want Levine and Miles Bridges or Cam Johnson and Miles Bridges. I want 2 players. 1 player just won't cut it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you too. You all are awesome. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate the calls. Thank you very much. 2 o'clock tomorrow, the King's Court with Rhino. 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock right back here with yours truly.